Good day everyone, we are Group 3 reporters.
Today, everyone, we're going to tackle the chapter 4, the human flourishing in science and technology. So, the learning outcomes in this topic, you can analyze technology's revolutions, examine technology role in human flourishing, and explain art's significance in technological world. So, in human civilizations, progress mirrors science and technology development. As humans pursue the good life, they interact with science and technology, which can impact their well being. Reflective thinking, as a philosopher Martin Heidegger suggests, is necessary to understand the significance of science and technology in human life. This chapter explores how science and technology contribute to human flourishing and the importance of art in this context. So, to be able to appreciate the fruits of science and technology, they must examine not only for their function and instrumentality, but also for their greater impact on humanity as a whole. The various gadgets, machines, appliances, and vehicles are tools that make human lives easier because they serve as a means to an end. So, their utility lies in providing people with a certain good, convenience, or knowledge. Meanwhile, medical research employs the best scientific and technological principles to come up with the cures for diseases and ways to prevent illnesses to ensure a good quality of life. So the next topic is the technology as a mode of revealing. So in his seminal work, The Question of Technology, Martin Heidegger urges to question technology and see beyond people's common understanding of it. So according to ancient doctrine, the essence of a thing is considered to be what the thing is. We ask the question concerning technology when we ask what it is. Everyone knows the two statements that answer a question. One says technology is a means to an end. The other says technology is a human activity. The two definitions of technology belongs together. For to pass ends and procure and utilize the means to them is human activity. So, the manufacture and utilization of equipment, tools, and machines, the manufactured and used things themselves, and the needs and ends that they serve all belong to what technology is. The whole complex of these contrivances is technology. Technology itself is a contrivance in Latin, an instrumentum, the current conception of technology according to which it is means and a human activity, can therefore be called the instrumental and anthropological definition of technology.
Today, I am Eugene Ganaganag and I am assigned to report the technology as poiesis applicable to modern technology. Heidegger's concept of technology as poiesis applies to modern technology, which is aggressive in challenging nature's demand for resources. This often leads to the settings upon of land, as in mining, where resources are extracted for human consumption, as storage, the revealing of technology and never ends, as everything in on demands and human control nature's rhythm. This dem- this has resulted in the mechanization and digitization of various aspects of life such as agriculture, communication, and transportation. This unconcealment is a standing reserves where everything is ordered to stand by for further ordering. Heidegger's concept of technology as poiesis, which refers to the way technologies brings out about a transformation in our between relationship with the world. In his view, technology is not just a tool or a means to an end, but a way of revealing and unconcealing the world to us. So he highlights the way technology transforms in our relationship with the world by revealing it to us in a way to emphasize domination and control over the world and nature. This transformation is evident in the mechanization and digitization of various aspects of life, and in the way resources are extracted from the earth to meet human demands. Heidegger argues that this relationship between technology and nature is problematic as it leads to a forgetfulness of our own beings and relationship with the world. Thank you.
Questioning as the pity of thought. Questioning is not merely a tool for knowledge, it is a fundamental act of respect for the truth. Through questioning, we engage in a rigorous and humble exploration of ideas, seeking clarity and understanding. The social method, questioning as a path to understanding. Number 1. Challenge assumption. The Socratic method challenges us to examine our assumption and biases, paving the way for deeper insight. Number 2. Identify gaps. By asking precise questions, we expose gaps in our knowledge and stimulate further inquiry. Number 3. Refine thinking. Through systematic questioning, we refine our thinking and arrive at more nuanced and informed conclusions. The power of inquisitive minds, embracing curiosity and skepticism. Curiosity. Curiosity fuels our desire to learn and explore, driving us to seek answers and push the boundaries of our understanding. Skepticism. Skepticism. Skepticism encourages us to question claims and evidence, ensuring that we are not accepting information blindly.
In this part, I will be discussing the inframing or way of revealing in modern technology. So, what is inframing? So, inframing is the essence of modern technology. It is a frame of mind that views the world as raw materials, chemical structure, mathematical equation, and more. So, the way of revealing in modern technology is an inframing. This inframing that challenges forth and sits upon nature in a way of looking at reality. In simpler terms, it is as if nature is put in a box or in a frame so it can be better to understood and controlled according to people's desire. Voices is concealed in inframing as nature is viewed as an orderable and calculable system information. So, in looking at the world, Heidegger distinguished between calculative thinking and meditative thinking. In calculative thinking, as I mentioned, one orders and put a system to nature so it can be understood better and controlled. In meditative thinking, One lets nature reveal itself to him or her without forcing it. Meditative thinking is a mode of thinking that involves noticing, observing, and pondering what is happening around and within the oneself. It can also be described as engaged thinking or thinking through connections, while contemplative thinking can be described as disengaged or autonomous thinking. One kind of thinking is not in itself better than the others. The human person has the faculty for both, and we do well to use them in synergy. However, people also want to control and are afraid of unpredictability because people want security, even if the ordering that happens in a framing is violent, and even if the earth is made as big gasoline station from which we extract stockpile and put in standing reverse ready to be used as we see fit. So human person swallowed by technology. True, it's true that individual takes part in revealing of nature. Limits must still be recognized. Humans do not really call the shots on this earth if we allow ourselves to get swallowed by modern technology. We also lost the essence of who we are as beings in this world. If we are constantly plugged online and no longer have the capacity for authentic personal encounters, then we are truly swallowed by technology. If we cannot let go of the conveniences and profits brought about by process and industries that pollute the environment and cause climate change, then technology has consumed our humanity. So having a technology in our lives is very essential, especially in today's generation, because through technology we can make our work easily or fast. But if we also use too much technology, it can have also it has also the big impact or effect to ourselves and also to the environment. Nevertheless, as expressed by the poet Hölderlin, but where danger is, grows the saving power. The statement of Hölderlin's, but also where danger is, grows the saving power also. So it captures a potent understanding of the conflict nature of threats and possible solution. According to him, technology has the potential to solve issues like environmental degradation, climate change, and the breakdown of genuine human connection even though it is present risk. This savings power lies in the essence of technology as technology. Essence is the way in which things are, as that which endures. Heidegger further asserted that the essence of technology is nothing technological. The essence of technology is not found in instrumentality and function of machine constructed, but in the significance such as unfolds. He also expressed that various problems brought about by humans' dependence on technology cannot be simply resolved by refusing technology altogether. He stated that thus we should never experience our relationship to the essence of technology so long as we merely present and pursue the technological, put up with it, or evade it. Everywhere we remain unfree and drained to technology, whether we passionately affirm or deny it, but we are delivered over to it in the worst possible way when we regard it it as something neutral. For this conception of it, to which today by particularly like to pay, makes us utterly blind to the essence of technology. A quote from Martin Heidegger: the question is concerning technology, is a critic of our relationship with technology. He argues that we can never truly understand or control technology if we approach it superficially, either by accepting it and its deeper implications, or simply adapting to it without examining its essence. He warns that treating technology as something neutral blinds us to its true nature, which he sees as shaping and limiting human existing in profound ways. He suggests that even if we accept or reject technology, we are still bound by it if we don't understand its essence. For Heidegger, the essence of technology isn't just about tools or machinery. It represents a framework or inframing that shapes how we perceive the world, emphasizing efficiency, utility, and control. Seeing technology as complacent and aware of how it conditions our understanding and experience of life itself. His concern is that without awareness of this underlying influence, we lose sight of other ways of relating to the world, ones that are less about manipulation and control and more about open, genuine engagement. This blindness can be lead to a state where our interaction with the world are dominated by technological values, ultimately alienating us from a more authentic connection with existence.
Good day. So I'm going to discuss art as a way of inframing. Inframing, as the mode of revealing in modern technology tends to block purposes, the poetry that is found in nature can no longer be easily appreciated when nature is inframed. If the earth has just become a gas station for us, then we have become inframed as well. In modern technology, the way of revealing is no longer poetic, it is challenging. When instruments are observed linearly, its poetry can no longer be found. For example, the watermill is a primitive structure compared to the hydropower plant, or the first iPhone model is just an obsolete piece of machine. People no longer realize how the watermill is more in tune with the rhythms of nature or how much genius went into the building of the first iPhone. Heidegger proposes art as a way out of this inframing. With art, we are better able to see the poetic in nature in reality. It leads us away from calculative thinking and towards meditative thinking. Through meditative thinking, we will recognize that nature is art par excellence. Hence, nature is the most poetic. So, this passage explores the ancient Greek concept of techne, which originally meant more than just technology in the modern sense. Techne referred to a way of revealing truth and bringing forth beauty, especially in art and creation. Heidegger argues that in ancient Greece, techne was seen as a form of poesis or a bringing forth or revealing, connecting divine and human destinies through artistic expression which wasn't focused on aesthetic pleasure or entertainment. Art wasn't just a cultural activity, it was a sacred art that revealed truth and beauty, illuminating a deeper understanding of existence. So Aristotle's conception of the four causes was mechanical, as explained by Heidegger. For centuries, philosophy has thought that there are four causes. First, the causa materialis, the material, the matter out of which For example, a silver chalice is made. Second, the causa formalis, the form, the shape into which the material enters. Third, the causa finalis, the end. For example, the sacrificial rite in relation to which the chalice required is determined as to its form and matter. Fourth, or the last, the causa efficiens, which brings about the effect that is the finished actual chalice is in this instance the silversmith, which technology is when presented as it means discloses when we trace instrumentally back to the fourfold causality. Aristotle's view of causes focused on a mechanical sense, missing a deeper truth. The Greeks saw cause as aeation, a sense of indebtedness or responsibility for bringing forth rather than mere cause and effect. For example, they revered the sun out of gratitude, not just a source of energy. Although technology often inframes or limits our view of the world, it doesn't fully erase the poetic nature within it. By questioning technology, we become more aware of environmental crises. Art and poetry help us to see these dangers, yet we remain hopeful, as Holderlin says, because we live poetically on earth.
Chapter 5: Human Flourishing as Reflected in Progress and Development. How do we know that we are progressing? What are the indicators of development? More often than not, development is equated with growth and greater consumption. The more that the population is able to consume, the wealthier it is. Likewise, the more that a person is able to buy stuff, the higher he or she is on the development scale. The planet, however, is already overburdened with human activities. It is about time that we rethink our standards of development if we truly want to live the good life. Jason Heckel, an anthropologist at the London School of Economics, challenged us to rethink and reflect on a different paradigm of development. So, development is often measured by economic growth and consumption, with higher consumption equating to higher development. However, this paradigm is unsustainable given the planet's limitations. Jason Heckel proposes the development, suggesting a shift away from endless growth and consumption towards a more sustainable and equitable model of progress that prioritizes well-being over material wealth. This involves re-evaluating our current metrics of development and focusing on factors beyond economic growth. Forget developing poor countries. It's time to de-develop rich countries. Jason Heckel. Heads of state are gathering in New York to sign the UN's new Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The main objective is to eradicate poverty by 2030. Beyonce, Ori Direction, and Matala are on board. It's set to be a monumental international celebration. Given all the fanfare, one might think the DJs are about to offer a fresh plan for how to save the world. But beneath all the hype, it's business as usual. The main strategy for eradicating poverty is the same: growth. Growth has been the main object of development for the past 70 years. Why worse? Despite the fact that it is not working. Since 1980, the global economy has grown by 380%, but the number of people living in poverty on less than $5 a day has increased by more than 1.1 billion. That's 17 times the population of Britain. So much for the trickle-down effect. Orthodox economists insist that all we need is yet more growth, more progressive. Parties tell us that we need to shift some of the yields of growth from the richer segments of the population to the poorer ones, even things out a bit. Neither approach is adequate. Why? Because even at current levels of average global consumption, we're overshooting our planet's biocapacity by more than 50% each year. In other words, growth isn't an option anymore. We've already grown too much. Scientists are now telling us that we're blowing past planetary boundaries at breakneck speed. And the hard truth is that this global crisis is due almost entirely to overconsumption in rich countries. So, despite the fanfare surrounding the UN Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), the core strategy for poverty eradication remains economic growth, a strategy that has demonstrably failed. Despite a 380% increase in the global economy since 1980, poverty has drastically increased. The fundamental flaw is that continued growth is unsustainable, for global consumption already exceeds the planet's capacity by over 50%. The article argues that the problem lies in overconsumption in wealthy nations, making further growth impossible and necessitating a fundamental shift away from growth-based development models.
Good day, ma'am. I am Warranty Familiar. The average pension in Ghana or Guatemala consumes. By contrast, people in the US and Canada consume about 8 hectares per person, while Europeans consume 17 hectares, mini their per sham. What does this mean for our theory of development? Economist Peter Edward argues that instead of pushing poorer countries to catch up with rich ones, we should be thinking of ways to get each countries to catch down to more appropriate levels of development. We should look at societies where people live long and happy lives at relatively low levels of income and consumption, not as basket kits that need to be developed towards Western model, but as exemplars of efficient Irving. How much do we really need to have long and happy lives? In the US, life expectancy is 79 years and GDP per capita 353,000 salariable. Many countries have achieved similar life expectancy with a met fraction of this income. Cuba has a comparable life expectancy to the US and one of the highest literacy rates in the world with GDP per capita of only 8,000, consumption of only 19 hectares right at the threshold of ecological sustainability. Similar claims can be made of Peru, Ecuador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Tunisia. Yes, some of the excess income and consumption who free the rich world yield improve merits in quality of life that are not captured by life expectancy. even literacy rates, but even if we look at measures of overall happiness and well-being in the addition to life expectancy, a number of low and middle-income countries rank nightly. Costa Rica managed to sustain one of the highest happiness indicators and life expectancies in the world with a per capita income one-fourth that of the US. In light of this, perhaps we should regard such countries not as underdeveloped but rather as appropriately developed. And maybe we need to start calling on rich countries to justify their excesses. The idea of developing rich countries might prove to be a strong, rallying cry in the global south, but it will be tricky to sell to Westerners. Tricky, but not impossible, according to recent consumers.
Hi ma'am, my name is John Carsalva and this is my report. So good day everyone. I will continue discussing the human flourishing as reflected in progress and development. So 70 of middle and high income countries believe that overconsumption threatens the planet and society, and they seek alternative narrative to the dominant economic model, and they are hungry for an alternative narrative. Pundits using terms like degrowth, zero growth, or worst of all the development are off-putting and repulsive as they contradict human progress and the purpose of life, suggesting people to stop moving positively and learning. So the concept of steady state economics is gaining popularity but lack property framing. A positive future focusing on quality rather than quantity is needed. GOP as a measure is not effective and needs to be eliminated. So Latin Americans are advocating for alternative visions for good living, inspired by the indigenous concept of Bowen Weaver, Robert and Edward Skedelsky, suggest interventions like banning advertising, shorter working weeks, and the basic income to improve lives and reduce consumption. So in this matter, either we slow down voluntarily or climate change will do it for us. We can't go on ignoring the laws of nature, but rethinking our theory of progress is not only an ecological imperative, it is also a development one. Rethinking our theory of progress is crucial for both ecological and developmental reasons. If we don't act soon, our hard-won gain against poverty may evaporate, leading to food system collapse and mass famine. It's not about giving up, but about reaching a higher level of understanding and consciousness about our actions.